don't get it confused. It's not a celebration that we have a new coach and there's been changes made.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Raiders are riding high after getting a huge victory against one of the best defenses in the NFL in the New York Jets. Davante Adams is celebrating not only because of the victory, but because somebody is no longer coaching here. When you look at Antonio Pierce, he's won over the locker room. He has a 2-game winning streak. The Raiders season is just getting started now as they have a clear path to the wild card. We're going to break this game down. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Raiders content. The man who really won this game for the Raiders was Josh Jacobs, busting off some huge runs in this game against this Jets defense. Jacobs ended the day with over 100 yards in this game, and it seems like with having the rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell, in order to get him more comfortable, the Raiders have decided that Josh Jacobs will be the answer for now. Things got scary at one moment when the Raiders could have put this game away, but they called a fumble here. They said the Jets forced a fumble. I was sketched out. I thought it was suspect. They said, oh, we couldn't see the replay where the knee went down. We couldn't get conclusive evidence. Therefore, the fumble stood. But when you look in this camera angle, you don't know. Maybe Jacobs' knee was down. I thought his knee was down when I saw it live. But nonetheless, the refs helped the Jets stay in the game. On one level, you could say, oh, it's just the Jets. Oh, the Raiders just beat the Jets. But this Jets defense has caused havoc on tons of top quarterbacks in the NFL, forcing Josh Allen to commit 4 turnovers, 3 picks. They made Mahomes have 2 picks. Jalen Hurts, they forced 3 picks. Herbert was only able to get 136 yards. Meanwhile, Aiden O'Connell had 1 touchdown and 1 pick against this Jets defense. And Aiden O'Connell only had about 150 yards, but still, that's pretty damn good for a rookie. But the player of the game was Mr. Insane in the Membrane, Robert Spillane. The man went wild. An amazing interception late in the game to help the Raiders close it out. The Jets ended up still having an opportunity in this game because the Raiders offense could not execute, but you gotta tip your hat to Robert Spillane, who was dealing with a broken hand and toughed it out to still fight in this game. You had Spillane have a wonderful primetime moment in a post-game interview announcing that he's gonna be having a baby in June.
We get to tell the world tonight that a beautiful wife will have our first baby here in June.
So Spillane had himself a night. He's having a baby with his amazing wife. He got an amazing interception even though he's dealing with injuries, and this Raiders defense looks freaking dope with Antonio Pierce at the helm. There was some funny business before the game. Before the game, you had Davante Adams hanging out with Aaron Rodgers the night before, chilling. Deshaun Reed from The Athletic is wondering if this is tampering here. And after the game, I'm sorry, Rodgers, Davante Adams is going to stay in Vegas as long as the Raiders keep winning here. And he had Davante Adams, embrace and talk to his old friend, Aaron Rodgers, after the game. All hugs and all love. Rodgers is definitely trying to pull this guy to come to the Jets in March, but hopefully the Raiders keep him in Vegas long term. Hopefully the Raiders also consider Antonio Pierce long term because the guy keeps winning and the guy motivates players and seems to know how to win them over.
It was good because, it's a players' league. I mean, they're running. That's the reason we're sitting here today, right? Because people come and watch these guys play.
Pierce is getting hyped up. He's winning over the locker room. He's winning right now. And honestly, because he doesn't have much NFL experience, he would be a lot cheaper than some of these rock star head coaches. And after Mark Davis has forked out a lot of cash for several coaches, I think he's seriously considering Mr. Antonio Pierce. Max Crosby's hyped about the situation as well. He thinks the Raiders also have a real opportunity here.
But back-to-back wins is huge. We're right in the mix of things, and we just got to keep going.
Not only is there energy from the defensive side of the football, energy from Josh Jacobs, but the whole entire locker room is pumped up. We have another cigar moment with the Raiders. Everybody's having a blast. Now that Genius Josh is gone, it's a party after every victory. The Raiders are winning games. The Raiders are happy. They're smoking cigars. They're having fun playing football exactly how it should be. And one man who's having an insane amount of fun, and this guy I feel like has been capping when he has to act like he loves Genius Josh McDaniels and Davante Adams, is in pure ecstasy, having an amazing time, enjoying another Raiders victory in the locker room, going stupid, Bay Area style, getting hyphy right here. I have not seen Davante Adams this happy since he was first traded to the Raiders. This is the happiest I've seen this guy. I know the offense was not stellar. We'll get into the stats in just a second, but the Raiders defense has definitely been stellar. There's no denying that at all whatsoever. This is actually the first time since 2020 against the Browns that the Raiders have allowed 0 touchdowns in a game. The Raiders were only able to score 1 touchdown against that elite Jets defense. But this defense, which we thought was bottom of the league going into this season, this defense has shown that they can be the Achilles heel of this team. And even though they were dealing with Zach Wilson and the Jets, it was still a stellar performance. I also want to give a shout out to Jermaine Illuminor. Colton Miller was injured for this game. He was inactive, dealing with some problems, and Jermaine Illuminor filled in at left tackle. And I know the Raiders gave up 3 sacks. O'Connell was sacked 3 times. But as I watched this game, I felt like O'Connell did have some time, and a lot of times it was some coverage sacks that were happening to him. And I thought overall, Jermaine Illuminor did an amazing job. This was a tough task for him to come in and fill in at left tackle against the Jets defense that is absolutely stellar, but he pulled it off nonetheless. Zach Wilson threw the ball a lot more than Aiden O'Connell. He had about 12 more attempts than the guy, 263 yards, 1 pick, 0 touchdown. O'Connell, however, had 1 touchdown and a pick, 153 yards against this tough Jets defense, 3 sacks, 72 passer rating, a decent job for a rookie 4th round pick in his 2nd start with Antonio Pierce, his 3rd start overall this season. And on top of that, obviously, Josh Jacobs, a stellar game, 116 yards. That was not happening under Josh McDaniels at all. Davante Adams was also able to get his numbers. This is something that we did not see last week. 13 targets, 86 yards. You might as well do that to keep those defenses honest. And look, the evil Josh McDaniels is finally gone, and that's why you got pure happiness from Davante Adams here after the game, tongue out and everything, doing the Robert Spillane. And when Davante Adams is happy, the happiest I've seen him all season, that makes me happy, and that makes me believe that something real could be brewing right now.
Dude is not a rookie. I mean, by years he is, but, you know, by action and, like you said, the poise that he has in those type of situations, you don't see that often from a rookie quarterback. I mean, like I said last week, the way he commands the huddle, the way he talks to us, the communication, the confidence, you know, throw a pick down there and early on in the game, and then the way he bounced back is impressive. So I'm glad he's our guy.
Davante Adams hyping up Aiden O'Connell there. He believes in the guy. He's not a rookie. He doesn't play with a rookie. Yeah, he threw a pick early in the game. I thought it was a good play by Whitehead, not really on O'Connell, but he bounced back, showed poise. This guy's a 4th rounder. If he can play just average, just okay, it's such a steal. It's like a Brock Purdy-esque deal. You gotta make him your franchise quarterback. I'm all in on Aiden O'Connell, and the best case scenario for the Raiders this season is if Aiden O'Connell does well, balls out, and solidifies himself as the starting quarterback for the Raiders. That would be the best case scenario long term. It's crazy to say this, but the Raiders are 500. They're 5-5 now that Genius Josh is gone. Everything has changed. They have not lost a game with Antonio Pierce yet, beating the Giants and now the Jets. The Giants was a give me. It's a crappy team with freaking DeVito as quarterback or whatever. But the Jets, that's a serious win against a tough defense. Then you play the Miami Dolphins. Keep in mind, the Miami Dolphins have not defeated that many tough teams. Take a look at the Dolphins' victories right underneath me. Yes, they beat the Chargers. Yeah, they beat the Patriots. Yeah, we know they blew out the Broncos. And then they beat the Panthers and the Giants and then the Patriots again. Those aren't really that impressive wins by the Miami Dolphins. The only good team that they've beaten this year is the Chargers. So you cannot sit here and tell me that the Raiders do not have a shot against the Miami Dolphins in Miami, in Florida, this Sunday at 10 a.m. We will be live during that game. You play the Dolphins, then you play the Chiefs the next Sunday at 1 o'clock. Then you got your bye week, a perfect time to get some rest. If they go 1-1 here, and they could maybe end up with a 6-6 record after the bye. Then you play the Vikings, who, yes, they're a tough team, but definitely beatable. The Chargers are beatable. Raiders could have beaten the Chargers and tied them with Aiden O'Connell. They were in it towards the end of the game. And then you got the Chiefs and then the Colts and then the Broncos. Broncos and Colts should be a dub. Yeah, you got 5 tough games. But within these 5 tough games, if you only lose 2 times, you could end this season with a 10-7 record, and then Antonio Pierce could take this team to the playoffs. Then you have to hire the guy because you don't want to make the same Versace mistake again. So I'm telling you guys this because I believe the Raiders have a shot. I believe they could beat the Dolphins. I believe they could beat the Chiefs. I do think this is going to be the toughest part of the schedule, the toughest part of the entire season. But I think after this 2-game win streak, the Raiders season has finally started and everything is in front of them. When it looked like before under McDaniels, they had not a shot in hell. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Do you think the Raiders could at least make the wild card this year? What do you think they're going to do against the Miami Dolphins this week? We will be live during that game at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I hope you join us there. My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.